this is now in the mid lane. Are we going to see something different?
I think so. I think we'll probably see that. Maybe he still does go for, maybe he does still go for like drum stuff, but I think it's more proper if he just go for like the Diffusal plus BKB kind of build this game so that he can battle in. Does look pretty decent. I'm actually surprised Brian said they have enough stuns. They have Clockwork. That's it. They only have like Battery Assault and Rocket and the hook shot later on. They actually don't really have that many stuns at all, especially versus elusive carry like Void. Last time they had Roots aplenty. Every single hero had a lift/stun or more if Rubik gets some good spell steals. This time I feel like a lot of this game is going to be on Spartan as a 5-position clock and maybe just craziness out of Broodmother.
Well, I mean, like they said during the panel, you do have a solution to the Chronosphere. You do have, Stolmanen who's going to be playing that little battery, trying to just, keep those cores alive. But they're really, they're putting that pressure down on the Lions, right? They picked up that Witch Doctor so they can get that Maledict in the lane, make sure that, they can put out Harass and just really secure Nico Baby this farm because it was pretty difficult last time. Yeah,
and I feel like this lane should be able to secure his farm quite nicely, even into Timbersaw, just because of Witch Doctor. The high right clicks, the Maledict later on. Yeah, Nico Baby should have an infinitely better time, it feels like, than the last time when he was versus a nasty ET. Clockwork, let's see if they're able to actually find anything. Spartan tries to connect onto them. So they could definitely cause some problems bottom, this Gyrocopter plus Clockwork, if they can actually get on top of the hero. So, like I said, eyes on Spartan to see how much damage he can do, how much he can sustain the lane here for focus. This is a strong lane. Lina Mars, it's no joke. It's a ton of damage if they do connect with pretty much any of the stuns. Even if Lina just lands Light Strike Array randomly, they can connect with the Spear after. Spartan, he has a ward in the lane. I think this is really important so you can see positioning of where that Lina is, so you can go for the wraparounds with Battery Assault.
He's trying to go for the wraparound, but he's also taking a lot of harass here. This S4 and Hanskin clicking away. And I mean, this is something that I know in particular, Brian really hates seeing this particular hero, right? The Lina just being constantly able to go and harass the safe lane.
Yep. This is one of the better 4 positions, I feel like, right now. 670 attack range, stun just got buffed massively. You can constantly keep Fiery Soul up just with stun, where previously you needed to have a secondary spell. Yeah, it's really, really nice. And into what I'm looking at here on their team, too. Very good. The burst damage versus Pugna, versus Timber, even versus Gyro. Gyro is susceptible to a decent amount of burst damage. Fairly squishy.
See, Spartan, he's trying to go and harass, but definitely S4 and Hanskin has his number. Every time he comes forward, it's immediately met with, a shield bash. They go and follow up with the LSA.
He is trying to get that pull off, though. You see they're forcing the lane in as much as possible. Won't quite be able to, as also top, Skylark does lose his courier very early on. And look at FNG actually doesn't even get the Maledict, or the stun level, when he actually just gets healed, and they're going aggro. They might get the Pugna.
Oh, Stolmanen, he's got the Fairy Fire, but looks like he's going to be fine. A lot of damage placed over here onto Hanskin. Not quite enough to finish him off just but he's sitting very low.
Did a good job. They hit level 2 first somehow down here. Even though I did see that S4 was sitting on like 2/3 denies, they somehow did get this too, just from a couple themselves. And they pushed the wave in. They try to get the side pull off. Spartan should be able to keep these creeps aggroed pretty decently. Let's see if S4 can drag it. He's going to try to click the heroes. He's trying to pull the wave off the Centaur. And he will be able to get most of them. Pretty important if he is able to make sure he gets that aggro on them.
This bottom lane seems to going pretty nicely over here.
I'm really wondering how the mid Brood's going to do too. I've actually only seen this hero played off lane. In our region, in the China region as well. When have you seen 11 playing it? I'm not going to see Spartan. Those have to be a little careful. If the stun connects, it just clips him.
Ooh, they've got the spear right forward, and Hanskin will be able to collect the first blood. Focus also has to be a little bit careful. They are sitting a little low, though.
That buff, that was the radius increase. That 25 radius that got buffed from last patch, that would not have connected if not for it.
So do you think we're going to be seeing something, now we talked about, that diffusal into the BKB. Are we going to see something like, the Orchid coming out as well for just a little bit more control?
I guess maybe he could actually go for the Orchid. It doesn't sound bad, especially especially versus Void. Also just mess with like Mars initiation. He'll have good damage. It's an option. It's definitely an option. Like I said, I haven't gotten to see mid Brood. I've literally only seen it offlane with either Mech Pipe or BKB Drum Diffusal, etc. So.
Well, Rajix earlier in the day had said that this hero was definitely, the next new hotness for sure. Talking about the fact that they don't have the Beastmaster anymore, and Wish just chomping away over here on Olympia is going to retreat behind the tower. Has that Spirit Siphon too, so be able to turn right back around. Interesting matchup here.
Yeah. Just a sustained matchup as we see Spartan again getting latched, but they do get the rocket on S4.
Yeah, they do.
Damage.
This is looking like a dead S4. Can he get there fast enough? Oh, crap. Oh, the bash back. He's going to survive it with 20-something hit points.
Oh my god, he actually lives because he just popped stick at like last second. It looks like as Focus is really getting pressure down here. 14 last hits. Did have a decent first 2 waves, but starting to hurt his Stominen.
Yeah, he is just getting chased down. They'll respect it, though. They'll back off a little bit. Nico Baby, of course, he wants to be able to hit those creeps. He fell behind last game, and he doesn't want that to happen again. So just turn right back around and go back to farming. And just the trades constantly here in the mid lane.
It's a sustain war, just between Hunger and Siphons. It's actually pretty funny to watch. As we only see the 1 point in web too. I guess it's because he's mid. You know, the off lane we've seen them maxing it most of the time, but since he's mid, he actually doesn't need to have that movement speed or that extra regen.
Towers are just so close together in that lane. It doesn't really make that much of a difference right now. So
Stominen is actually smoking around the mid lane. Looks like he's getting some deep just a deep ward.
That is something that they really like to do over on the side of Brame. You've been seeing that pretty consistently, you know, trying to get the information.
This is sneaky. Like, he left Skylark top. You're not going to expect this bottom. This might catch Alliance completely off guard. This Pugna swooping across.
Spartan's just running over here, Adam. We'll get some of those battery sets off. And now the LSA, they turn this around. Can they get the kill over here on Spartan? Yes, they will. But they might be able to go and take down Hanskin here. Oh, he's got the Fairy Fire, though. He's actually going to survive. This is the lane of close calls here down here for Alliance. They've been able to walk away with very little hit points.
Stominen just didn't cast Decrepify. That was really weird. He could have killed Alina. Like, he didn't Decrep Blast. He just walked alongside to him and just let him survive. That was definitely a bit of a weird one. The rotation was kind of cool, but ends up missing the mark with the gank. And now he looks like he's just going to deny bounty rune, or take away the bounty rune from Death Prophet. Also camp for this bottom rune himself. Wish. Is he going to look to actually go for this here with the Pugna? No. So Limp does get himself a free illusion rune.
We're starting to see that spider army start to get amassed here over for this Broodmother.
Could definitely be a problem for Limp. I think maybe you do that rotation that the panel was talking about pretty soon. Maybe move S4 over there as S4. Stominen and Spartan are looking for it again.
Yeah, they've got the missile. We'll connect Spartan getting forward here.
How did they get both?
Both of them. There's a lot of damage coming out, and that is definitely going to be a dead S4. Can they finish off on Hanskin? Though, look at the Spartan. He wants his kill. He's going so far.
He got him.
Managed to get it, even though the LSA does connect. Look at this. The immediate rotation to this mid lane. Wanting to just get Limp off of this tower with this exorcism that's been committed.
Those are some vacuum cogs if I've ever seen them myself. That was actually ridiculous how it got both of them. Limp, getting good damage on tower. I'm surprised they didn't double check runes a little bit better to make sure that he can't do this with just constant runes. Wish he'll be able to heal up, but half damage on tower.
I like this, though. That was something that they were definitely lacking in game number 1 for Alliances. They just didn't have great people to go and put pressure on the tower. This time, they definitely have that solution.
Yeah. And they have a lot of stuns themselves, too, which they weren't like fully lacking last time, but they at least have this great initiation that's going to come from the off lane.
I mean, it was just too much pressure, right? It was too much pressure over on Nico Baby to land the perfect Chronosphere. This time around, you know, you've got the Mars who's going to be able to go and, you know, do initiations. You've got, you know, follow-up from, like, the Witch Doctor, the stuns from the Lina, and, of course, just all that damage that you can dump into the Chronosphere with the Exorcism. So this is definitely a more well-rounded draft for Alliance, and they're definitely setting themselves up for more success this time around.
Yeah, and, like, S4 is having a completely different game. Look at these cogs. Like, look at this.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Right in the middle.
It just like perfectly like sucked them in. It sucked the Mars, it sucked Hanskin into. Yeah, it was beautiful. Really nicely done. And of course, like in typical Spartan fashion too,
he wants it,
most other players would be like,
oh,
he's so fast, he's gonna get away. But Hanskin turns for stun and actually dies because of it. So S4 having an infinitely better game than last time, and he's gonna be that initiator for the team. Stominen has an Invis rune, but they just put the sentry down, so they'll see him rotating over. And they are really slowing down Focus. Last time, Focus nearly had 4K net worth already on that Wraith King, so only 2,800, same thing as Nico Baby.
Yeah, he does super fast Radiance last game here. But Spartan trying to get into position. They'll open up with the Decrepify. Again, these cogs are just so spot on. With the call down, the arena comes out here. This is not looking good for S4. He will fall. A couple of these nice bounces here coming out from the Witch Doctor Hanskin, though. Is he going to make it out alive? No. Summonin will find the kill. And do they dive here on FNG? It looks like they're going to go for it here. They want this kill. The Voodoo Restoration just not going to be enough here to keep him alive. And everybody on the side of Brame survives this engagement.
On point. These moves of 4-position rotating Pugna, never thought I'd see that, but ganking it the safe lane for his gyro to set him up for success, and Spartan just back-to-back beautiful cogs getting it set up. Does mean that Limp, he knows that these two supports had moved away. They don't have great mana to TP mid, so he's just going to put this pressure on Stominen. rocks over, just puts down a ward, but tower does look like it's inevitably going to drop pretty soon.
You're trying to clear up this creep wave at the very least, but yes, like you said, try to go for the denial, not going to be able to quite find it. But Limp realizing that, you know, they have this breathing room, trying to put pressure on the map, trying to make sure that Nico Baby has that breathing room, because it's tough here in the top lane with the Timber Saw.
It definitely is. Yeah, Skylark is now reaching unkillable points unless the Witch Doctor comes up with level 3 Maledict. Okay, he does have the level 3 Maledict, so they still can, but with Hood, they want to put their attention elsewhere for now.
Look at the wrapparound here coming up.
Again, right?
They want this. Yeah, look at this. And Focus is just being apart. They immediately Delta split. They only get a couple of these bounces off over here, so they'll be able to go pin Gyro over to the tree.
He went right through the tree. That was weird.
FNG getting chased down here by Spartan. Spartan, this time he's going to respect it. He'll back off because Hanskin is rejoining here. We'll just go and chip away over at the at that ward.
They're putting a lot of tension just to slow down S4 and also just try to enable Focus. That time, it got scary. The FNG saw them coming, that initial Maledict. I actually thought that there's a chance that Focus just dies instantly to something. As he goes through the tree, right? Maybe he was just off with the spear, but it looked like he went through it to me.
It's just off, slightly off.
Slightly, yeah. I guess. It just misses the, you know, it's a skinnier tree than the usual ones, I guess, so.
It's not your usual oak tree. That's, you know, a little bit easier to manage. But yes, bottom lane though, let's say connecting over here onto the Timbersaw. Skylark is gonna hang out with the trees, his worst nightmare as a Timbersaw, but they'll defend the tower for the time being.
Yeah, takes top, immediately swings bottom. Love when I see these Timbersaws do this, and now they're putting pressure on mid with Wish, and he is doing the Orchid build, so it's a great call. It's gonna be really effective versus this Void. He's going to be able to swing around and maybe... I'd like to see him actually play like that. If he gets his webs set up inside the enemy jungle area, it's going to put a lot of pressure onto Nico Baby, and it's going to put a lot of pressure onto Alliance overall to have to constantly swing over and clean that area out. Otherwise, they're going to just lose so much control of farm. The hook shot?
The hook shot over on Limp. Look at this, though. The immediate follow-up. S4 already in position, has that arena. They should be able to blow up Wish as Spartan now running for his life. They'll even go and use the Chrono. They want this kill. Nico Baby just whacking away over here, and they'll kill SSA Spartan.
Nice. Great prediction coming out from Alliance. They knew that move was coming. S4, this time able to set up very cleanly.
We've got the spider counter going. 40 spiders have been killed so far.
We'll never pass what we hit earlier, which was like 500 or something, or 400 something for one hero.
Never say never.
Never say never, that's fair.
Dota is a crazy game.
That is true, and we are going to see a lot more Broodmother for sure.
For sure. But yeah, you know, like you said, I think that the Orchid is very, very necessary coming out from the side of Brame, just because, you know, they are a bit lacking in the stun and the disabled department for a bit. So we do have that Orchid completed now, and it'll be interesting to see if Brame try to make some plays. You know that the Chronosphere is down now, and also these supports, if she gets a big enough army built up, it's going to be very difficult. Oh, look at Spartan again with the two-man pops. What a... He's absolutely wild here. Spartan, he tries to stay alive just a little bit longer, not going to be able to do it, but FNG does fall. Stominen turning around. The silence comes out, though, from the Death Prophet. He's trying to juke around. They do have the Exorcism. This is looking like a dead Pugna.
But he forced an Exorcism. Limp, he wants to get more out of it. He's swinging toward top. They see this gyrocopter. Uh-oh, Focus.
They got a Hasterin still online, too. Focus, the teleports are coming out. They're going to try to defend him. S4, though, behind the tower. Nice spear forward over here. Can they get off enough damage, though? Nico Baby's chasing after Focus. Looks like they are going to respect the tower and the fact that they had several TPs on the side of Brame.
Oh, so all in all, I think the Stominen death was probably not necessary. He maybe could have gotten away. He tried to turn for the Death Prophet, but they force a DP ulti to not really get a big objective or kill. It's just the support, so all in all, not too bad for Brame. As we do still have the Gyrocopter able to continue his farm. Yeah, not bad. And again, look at bottom. These two, they're just constantly fragging. They're constantly looking for kills. It's very unexpected to see a Pugna being able to be so active, but Spartan, he's on point right now with this Clockwork. He's on point in this series.
We've seen like 3 cogs that have happened that have gotten 2 heroes.
Yeah.
Like, he's just very good positioning.
Scouting with Rocket now too, checking out the area. Sees where Nico Baby's farming for his team. Walks into the high ground versus all the enemies.
Classic Spartan, but you know, the way he's been on point, I think it's okay this time around. Skylark is just being allowed to have all the room in the world too. I think that's something that's a little bit concerning here.
Yeah, what's he actually building up toward? He's just he's going for his own game. I like that. Not going for any type of like team items just yet, just making sure he's nigh and killable. As Focus, he's got the Maelstrom done on Gyro, so he's slightly behind the Void, but still not too bad versus that very difficult aggro lane that comes off from Mars and Lina. I think you're pretty happy with this start on the Gyro.
I like how you say that this very aggro lane, but at the same time, I would say that Brame was the one being the aggressors the entire time. When you have Stoneman rotating down to that lane, and then Spartan, of course, getting those double cogs off, but...
And they are starting to take away that farm. So they invade enemy area here. They put down actually wards to watch there. I didn't want them to actually put the obvious ward, though. I think that one's probably going to get de-warded because they know that these webs are going to get snuck over, and the Brewmother's going to start sneaking over, but... Either way, I like the idea of what they're doing. You see the circle's already drawn. They're like, this is probably no-go territory for a long time here. Let's just play around bottom side.
You still have quite a few healthy towers up over on the side of Brame. You can see they are grouping up, though, on the side of Alliance over in that bottom area. They want to try to take that tier 1. Did take the tier 1 in the middle lane fairly quickly. They used the Exorcism for it a couple times, and, you know, just identifying the fact that... they had too many heroes in that bottom lane, so they wouldn't be able to contest it. So, nice efficiency coming out from Limp.
Yeah. And now we're seeing Broods taking over this side. Alliance continue to just take over down here. Both teams chilling. Alliance set up, smoked around mid. They got the blink on S4, so now they have much easier initiation tools. Brame only really still... They're only going to really have Clockwork. For the most of this game, that's going to be their initiation. It's Spartan sacrificing his life for the greater good, as he tends to.
Usually.
Usually. Focused, he's actually going to show himself mid. The patience from Alliance may have paid off.
There it is. There it is. The blink, the arena, and they've got everything that they need. The hookshot coming in, though, so it's going to take a little bit longer to take down Focus. They do get the Laguna Blade off, though. Focus will fall. Spartan also just taking too much damage. Hanskin actually going to survive that hookshot combo. And the top lane, yeah, they have the really nice Chronosphere, and they're going to go with the Exorcism. They're going to try to burn down the Spider, but the Spear going forward. Just going to push him away. Stoneman now is going to get chased down, and Skylark is just running around circles here on Limp. He'd like to burst him down. He doesn't quite have enough damage to do it, though. As Wish, he's still alive. He is just going to teleport out, though.
Lions with fast reactions and fast moves and great patience. They sat mid for so long. S4 waits the entire duration of the smoke, just waiting for somebody to come in, and they do find the big target. And do net themselves now 3 more kills.
They got what they were coming for sure.
Yep. Anytime you can get Gyro when you are playing with Void, that means Void's just going to get that farm up just a bit quicker. He's got the Maelstrom now, too, so he's able to match the farm speed of a Flak Maelstrom Gyro.
I mean, that's the ideal, right? Not only do you take down the Gyrocopter, but you also net a kill for your Faceless Void in that top lane. Yes, you use the Chronosphere, but, you know, you weren't going to be really using it for any huge team fights just yet anyways.
Just for quick kills right now, as we see FNG does deny that ward away, but Spartan all over the case.
This is a dead FNG.
Yeah.
It was a nice try. He was hoping he could get that back, but that is the no-fly zone, as we said. Big circle.
They should not be there.
All the vision.
I think once he gets the D ward, which is perfect, right? But then going for outpost probably a bit crazy, but does get punished for it. Spartan.
Gotta take some risks sometimes, though, right?
You're the 5 position. You know, your life is, you know, whatever. You kill the ward. That's all you need to do. Kill a ward, try to get clean an outpost, and that's it. As mid again,
they find themselves a Gyrocopter, and Hanskin is just always there along with S4. They have the burst damage, and they just erase him from the map for now. That is time that he is not going to be able to farm, and that is time for Nico Baby to get what he needs.
And they're not finding Nico Baby, right? Like Wish, this Orchid, he wants to be able to find something, at least one kill on the Void before he becomes too invulnerable pretty much to that silence. It's Alliance getting all the big hits on the Gyro. Still only a 1K lead, but pretty massive that they're able to find these kills here. It's 2 deaths, Nico Baby none.
But again, it does come down to the fact that every time that Focus is dead, he's not farming.
Yep.
And they're going to slowly start to fall behind if they continue with this, because the hit squad of Hanskin and S4 has been on point. And I mean, this is one thing you and I were talking during the draft. We wanted to see S4 on one of these initiators, one of the offlaners that can make things happen, because that's where he really shines. And this combination is exactly, I think, what Alliance needed here to really enable Nico Baby to get what he needs.
Yeah. And even though like Scarlet, he's still very farm, but they only have one form of initiate. It's just Spartan for them to really make those plays. They kind of have to play this counter initiation game for the most part on the side of Brame. Just to bait the chrono on some of these heroes that are in front line. Pugna sits in back, tries to get the heals off, and then Broodmother wraps around. But yeah, the approach just not quite there. They are finding kills on some of these heroes, but not finding the void.
I mean, to be fair, Spartan has been on point.
He has been.
With these initiations, but it starts to slip out of his hands, right? Because the game is going to get harder. They're going to start getting, force stabs and things like that as well, so it becomes less effective. And then I also feel like, it feels like Brame, usually, they group up after a certain point. Like about 20 minutes in, usually they all group up, they start making things happen, but they've got such individualistic heroes this time around.
They do.
With the Timber kind of doing his own thing, with Wish doing his own thing, and then Gyrocopter, he's just kind of trying to farm, but they're hunting him down every time.
He keeps getting delayed. Otherwise, I actually think their timings would have been... What?
That finger? Misclick?
Okay.
Maybe just farming efficiency? I
don't think so. Yeah, pop X in for that smoke camp.
Yeah, let's get it. I mean, I'm trying to be...
Yeah, I know. They're going to smoke because they want to try to utilize it at the very least, but let's see if they can. Brame... So, like you're saying, I think they stalled out the timings really nicely on Alliance. Brame, they're still getting close to getting a lot of item timings together. Ag's now finished on the Broodmother, BKB on Gyrocopter on the horizon too, which he would have if he didn't die at least one of those times. So they still are going to hit a pretty good window here on their side. But Alliance, Nico Baby, no pressure on him really at all this game. He's just getting all the free farm.
How are these fights going to work, though? Because like you said, we're getting close to that BKB timing over on Gyro, but like, how do all these pieces come together? Because that was the concern, right? That was something that the panel, I believe, was also mentioning. Whereas it's a little bit more, I don't want to say telegraphed, but it's easier when you look at what Alliance has. You know exactly how these pieces are supposed to fit together, whereas Brame is a little bit more individualistic. They need to just survive. If Gyro gets chronoed, which is probably the plan, it's okay for him to get chronoed this game, they have to have Pugna behind, and then Timber and Brood gonna wrap around and clean up backside. It's okay if Gyro actually gets chronoed here, because they've got the Pugna. Stomanen just cannot get chronoed. All eyes on the little Skelly man, that's for sure.
And he's got the cast range. He's got Aether Lens, he's got Keen Optics, so he should be able to sit back and get these heals off onto his teammates. He actually didn't get level 2 life drain though, so that's a little weird, but whatever.
A couple ways.
He's like, oh god, don't let them see me. Kill this mid wave quickly so I get level 13 and they don't see that I did that, but still very value to have max level Nether Ward too.
Especially against things like Alina and whatnot.
Yeah.
All right, well, smoke up over on 4 heroes here onto Brame. And they're going hunting.
They're waiting for someone to show on this wave here. BKB is done on the Gyrocopter too, so it's coming out on the Courier.
It's gonna be Hanskin who's the first one. Yeah, they use the flare.
Spartan.
See the Lee. See the Lina.
Thinking about it. Bit deep though.
I think it's too hard, right? Because they don't have great vision over in that area that they were controlling earlier on, but has been thoroughly dewarded.
And he has to always remember too, like, he's a clock. He can hookshot very far away. His teammates might struggle to actually catch up to him if he does go a little bit too deep. His DD top.
Ooh.
Very nice. Wait for FNG, or wait for the Faceless Void.
I mean, that'd be nice.
I was saying FNG, yeah.
FNG is the core now. Let's go.
He's got the 60 damage talent, so why not?
Good vision, though, over here. Throwing out the rocket flare will spot out 2 heroes over here on the side of Alliance. So the question is, how do they get into this pit?
I think S4 has to be a little careful with his positioning here. Inside the pit, he's that a big initiator for them. So if he just doesn't get full focused onto, that could prove to be problematic for Alliance.
Chakram gets tossed out. They do have the double damage over on Nico Baby, though. So it's a little spooky for the side of Brame.
The Nether Ward is down, so the Alliance does have to give some respect to that one. And yeah, S4, he can't really sit inside the pit and tank it.
Nico Baby looking to go back in. Another Chakram tossed out as Roshan's taking a leisurely stroll outside of the pit, and all these webs wondering who's moving into the neighborhood here. Life drain over onto Zephyr. Look at that range. You don't even see him on the screen. It's actually really silly. Missile tossed out over here onto Limp. Hookshot over to that side. They're going to jump over into S4. They want to get rid of this initiation if they can, and they'll use the Exorcism. The call down comes out as well. But they just Delta split over here. Skylark running through over the side does end up getting stunned, and they'll go and throw out the arena. So they're going to be able to take down the Timbersaw.
That's a huge kill. Like, how they don't have the spells now to throw the spam into the pit. They might have to just give this one away, or they do some very reckless fight.
I mean, it's Brame. They could opt to do this. Again, Spartan, there it is. There's the Chronosphere. Do they have the... Yeah, there it is. That little battery trying to keep him alive, but the Clockwork is going to fall over on the back lines, managing to keep the Gyrocopter alive. He's got the BKB. They've already picked up the Aegis over here onto Limp. They'll be able to chase down S4.
Okay. Not the worst. Brame at least get themselves one type of kill there. They didn't have the follow-up there, though. He catches S4, which is like the dream, actually, from Spartan. But same thing. His teammates can't get to that hook shot. It is a bit far away. Even though we did see Wish got the silence off onto the Void initially, they were zoned away. They couldn't actually get onto the up of the Mars soon enough to follow up. And definitely just still scared of Exorcism a bit.
These fights are wild, too, because, you know, we saw that Chronosphere, and he got exactly the target that he wanted, but he didn't get Stominen again.
Nope.
So Stominen is allowed to just sit so far back and just be that little battery, keep him alive the entire time.
And I think Spartan's Cog also placed like perfectly. It did push the Void away, so he didn't even get he didn't even get a single attack off with the Chronosphere. So that was a bit wasted. Let's see what Brame does to take advantage of that. They're not a cooldown reliant team, so right now, you know, no Chrono 100 seconds, no Death Prophet ulti. I want to see them doing something. Like, I don't want to see them just individually go to lanes and just farm right now. That's how you get picked off by Alliance's other spells. So I did want to see them group up, but it doesn't look like it's going to be the case, and that'll buy. I mean, that's just going to give Alliance time to have all these ults back up. So Brame may be missing a bit of a window here with those down.
We are seeing them try to invade the jungle a little bit over here, possibly, you know, put down some sentries, deward, but they have to be so careful. Like you said, they've got such a potent combo, and just the Mars and the Lina, and the Witch Doctor too, right?
Yep, they're setting up for the fight, though. They know that they're all down. Nico Baby does have BKB, so he is safer.
Call down, hookshot coming in. They need to lock down Nico Baby, but he's got the BKB. He's able to just walk away. Limp, of course, does have that Aegis over on the back lines. S4 is trying to fight this big old spider, but not able to quite do it here as Nico Baby, again, they do not have the stuns. They don't have the lockdown. They're chasing after Limp. Hanskin still standing nearby, ready to come in if he needs to use that LSA Chakram coming out. And there it is. There's the LSA BKB coming out now from Limp as he just wants to get out of this engagement.
Oh, they didn't get it. It was close. They actually set up pretty nicely for this play down bottom, but they actually all were able to scurry away. Triple BKBs. It was forced from Alliance, though.
I mean, they need lockdown. It's a huge problem for the side of Brame.
Yep, it's only Spartan. And he did actually, he caught Nico Baby when he had Mask of Madness on still for like a third of the duration. So it was a moment quite scary there for Nico Baby. But yeah, they just don't have the follow-up control. It's just Clockwork. It's just Spartan. And maybe a Rocket.
He's doing the best he can.
He's doing what he can.
And now here becomes the issue, right? You see the Hanskin. He got the Force Staff. It's going to be so hard now. They're just going to be able to position Hanskin back as long as he's not necessarily the one who gets initiated on. He's always going to have some form of a save. He also has the Yules too, so he can just throw people up in the air, push them out of the cogs. Yeah. You've got solutions, and it's just looking a bit difficult here for Brame.
Yeah, looking a bit difficult for Spartan to solve every single two. Yeah, Force Staff and triple BKB, so these catches are going to be a lot more difficult. And Wish, okay, so he's got Ags, Orchid, he's got BKB. See what he can do in fights, too, because I'm still not feeling this like, oh my god, Brood's taking over or anything like that. He's actually not really had an effective Orchid just yet so far in the game.
It feels strange, right? Because I feel like, 1 second here, they've got their eyes over here on a Timbersaw, and he's looking pretty dead.
Not that tanky. Not for all this magic.
Not when you have 3 heroes waiting there patiently for you and setting up, but yeah, that is indeed an issue.
I think Brame is definitely starting to feel a little bit of the synergy with their lineup just being a little bit questionable. Like, how does the Broodmother, the Gyrocopter, and the Timbersaw work together? Sure, we're seeing the beauty of the Clockwork and the Pugna with the Gyrocopter, but where's the rest of it? Where does it actually all come together? Compared to Alliance, as you said, you know, it's very clear how they are going to take the fights, who they target. They have plenty of stun, so even if they miss a couple, they'll have extra catch-up. Definitely looking quite a bit harder for Brame, but they're keeping up in farm. So I'm waiting to see what's Wish going to do. He's got to pop off at some point soon.
Now, I know that you've been watching more of the Chinese region as well. Have you seen the way that the Broodmother's supposed to play into this? Because I know, again, it is a slightly different build because it is in the off lane, but I feel like the way that everyone has been talking about it is it just kind of takes over a lane, right? And it just keeps pushing. And I feel like Wish has kind of been a little confused, not confused, maybe distracted, I guess, and just trying to, you know, mow down these buildings.
Yeah, usually it's like you get, usually at least from what I've seen, it's until 30 minutes you are dominating and claiming control of everything. You're actually usually in net worth lead because of that Brood being able to like completely control a whole side of the map. But that's not the case this game. It hasn't happened. Alliance is still able to find the farm. The Brood Mother hasn't really slowed down anybody. And like I said, look at the Orchid. I'm not feeling like I like the pickup actually. I did.
Yeah.
He just hasn't found the Void at all. He hasn't found any of the targets. And now they've got BKB, so Orchid is irrelevant.
Do you think the problem becomes the fact that they do have, you know, something like a Timber Saw, which is a little bit more clunkier when you're trying to go for ganks?
I think so. The fact that it's just Spartan has to be the one to do everything for sure. Yeah, it definitely feels a bit awkward here.
All right, well, the Aegis does get reclaimed during all of this, and Alliance, they're still looking like they're ready to make some moves. So the Limp already putting a little bit of pressure over here on this tower, and the Brood Mother just kind of trying to put some pressure, I believe, over on this middle lane, but
Alliance is full, even though it's only a less than 1K, even bouncing back and forth gold. Alliance is online, and their team fight is just, it's so much scarier than Brame's is.
They've got the damage this time. That was the whole issue last time, is that, you know, Nico Baby wasn't able to get his farm, and this time around, he definitely has had the breathing room. He's got all of the damage coming out from his teammates as well.
Yeah, they've just got a really clean lineup to be able to play versus the Gyro. He's got Butterfly, but they have to be able to rally around this guy. So let's see what Brame can do. Because now it's just been pretty quiet for the last few moments here. And it really is all about the later items for Gyrocopter versus Void. Like Brian was mentioning, you know, eventually when you're able to get Ags, Satanic and stuff like that and fight back the Void, even if you are Chronoed, maybe that's what they're hoping for, but
that's kind of a risky.
That's 10,000 gold plus later that they're gonna have to wait for.
Well, that's how much faith I guess they have in their core.
At least he's solar crested up. He is gonna be really buff.
All right. Smoke action coming out from the side of Alliance. They're hoping to get a pick off here. We'll see the little clockwork illusion. We've got a little spider also doing a bit of scouting.
Level 20 Death Prophet, also her own form of spidering, of course, as we see those spider legs.
Horrifying.
He's got Shivas, so they've got a great way to scout.
Spartan over on the back lines, but he immediately just goes and tries to grab S4. S4, though, with the BKB, is putting that pressure down. As they're invading through, they've already used the Exorcism. Be able to take down Spartan, their main form of lockdown, as Nico Baby's on the hunt.
He's focused.
Skylark also running away. Can he grab? Yes, there it is. There's that Chronosphere right underneath the tower. The Chakram does get tossed out here, but there's not too much that Skylark can do as they manage to just blow up focus.
They can't even do anything. Nico Baby literally just charged through the entire fight, just constantly time walking. There's nothing they can do because once Spartan uses hookshot, there's no other threat.
There's nothing.
There's just nothing else. And Timbersaw at this point, sure, Skylark's gotten a great farm, but those two deaths and them having all BKB, there's no threat. He doesn't do anything to them. Doesn't slow them down by any means when they are chasing forward, as S4 actually finds him.
He wants this. Chakram, though, pinned to the tree. The rest of the team is here. They've got plenty of magic damage to burst down this Timbersaw. He even throws out the Lotus, but it doesn't matter. You can't dispel that malediction. Nico Baby does get the final hit off. And we got a full-on nullifier online for Mr. Faceless Void.
It's getting pretty out of control here. When is the last time they actually got a big kill? They got the Mars kill at like 24 minutes, but besides that, they've only killed, I think, FNG on the side of Brame. It's been 9 minutes of Alliance domination. And that last fight definitely dictating the pay. I mean, 6K now. Like they've got all map control, and Brame just, what do we do? I feel like that's maybe what they're thinking inside the comms too. It's just like Spartan's probably like, I'm catching people, but guys, like, what the heck is going? What do we do? How do we actually do any other plays besides me?
That is the million-dollar question right now. Like, how do you get stuff done? You know, you've got a Clockwork who has a good initiation, but you don't have that follow-up that you need to be able to close the gap, and you don't have the lockdown. And this is a Faceless Void. This is a hero that you need to silence, you need to change them, you need to do what you did in game number 1, Brame, because Nico Baby is just looking too ferocious now, and he's working on a Scotty. He's got a 3-0-2 score right now. This guy has just been patient, and his team has played excellent around him.
Yeah, and if you get Scotty, game's like pretty much over for Gyrocopter, as you'll block out the heal that's going to be coming from the life drain. Also, you're a ranged carry, so the effect of that Scotty is amazing. Nico Baby, a little bit of a weird time walk right there, missing the small camp, but it's all right.
Don't look. It's fine. He's having a great game.
He is having it. He is having a great one. And Wish, okay, so, I mean, he's had the Hex queued up, and that's going to be the extra control that they need for the Void, but they got to hit really hard when they get it. They got to just remove him from the fight immediately and fight and take Roshan for them to have a chance in this game as it progresses.
It feels like a flipping. Again, like we keep seeing these teams, the draft in game number 1 felt like, Brame had an Alliance draft, and then this time around it feels like Brame is lacking that damage and lockdown for sure. We're definitely running into some issues, like great work at timing over on this this Broodmother, but just not any follow-up or just no opportunities, I guess, to really use it?
Yeah, just really no opportunity. Nico Baby hasn't really given him an opportunity.
Oh, the blink?
Ooh, okay.
All right. Oh, but he'll be able to find Wish over here. Immediately, the Orchid Silence is cleaning up all of those spider babies as Limp. Walking on over. There it is, the Chronosphere.
Got BKB off.
He does have the BKB, so they also have that Decrepify over on the back lines. Disarmed over here onto Nico Baby. Wish trying to munch away over here onto S4. He's got his own BKB. He's putting out the damage, but they turn right back around to get over onto Focus, and they've just got so much physical damage coming out here from Limp as FNG does end up getting the kill. The BKB duration is done. Nullifier over here on Wish. The buyback now coming out from Focus. He wants to get back into the fight. So does this Broodmother. But where's your catch?
They have to get something. Oh my god, if they don't get anybody with double buybacks on cores,
they have no way of catching them.
They're gonna smoke to try to chase as well too, but they just can't catch anything. How long on Roche? It might respawn right now. This could be pretty nice. It's gonna respawn right now. No Chrono, no Exorcism. Buybacks are actually gonna be effective here for Brame, it looks like.
I think this is the best scenario that they could possibly have, although FNG is wandering over. They have to be careful. Spartan peeking his head out. He's just going to try to be that little buffer here. Maybe they'll focus him down, but S4 jumps into the pit with that Arena. Although it's just too much damage as they do manage to take down Spartan. S4 will fall. They'll pick up the Aegis. Focus now has it. There's going to be the Laguna Blade tossed out. Skylark will fall.
They got it, though. I mean, a quick spawn. Very fortunate. Gaben definitely a little bit on the side of Brame there for that spawn with those buybacks. So at least able to get something here, and S4's life as well. So now we have the Shard, the AoE Bola for that Spider, and we do have an Aegis on our Gyrocopter. Who's got cheese? Okay, Brood still got cheese. So, okay, now better ways for the Gyro to survive, potentially to get to that item progression that he needs to get in later stages.
Still a bit of an uphill climb for him, though.
Very far. As Limp, massive.
Refresher.
Full refresher now, too, with those Shivas, with the Shivas as well. Very nice build. These fights are just they're still so difficult for the Gyro. Actually, watching how Limp is playing the fights is really nice. He's blanketing the silence in the backlines where the Pugna is, so there's no life drains. No way to actually keep Focus healed up either.
Gonna try to put some pressure over here on Nico Baby, but again, they just don't have the lockdown. The shot doesn't quite connect, unfortunately. So Nico Baby gets donked by a little missile, but he's absolutely fine. And I think I like how you're pointing out, I didn't quite notice that in the team fights, but yes, they need to swing around, right? They need to have some sort of an interrupt for Stoneman because he is so integral to, keeping these cores alive when these Chronospheres come off. Like, he's like that little pesky itch. He just can't quite scratch in the bottom lane, though.
Again.
S4 and Hanskin, they've been doing this all game. They've got the Lotus Orb over here on the Skylark. Does have the Timber Chain to run away. They're going to try to heal him up. Stoneman being in a good position. Turning back around again. Timber Chain, Nico Baby, though, going for the Chronosphere.
Oh, it actually doesn't hit.
Land over here onto Focus. He's in between these two different bubbles here. Zephyr does fall. Buyback coming out now. They want to take this fight. They've got this Exorcism, the wrap around here, the silence over here on the Gyrocopter. He's trying so hard, but it is going to be the Aegis. Swish over on the back line here, throwing out all the Silken Bolas that he can, chasing down over here after Nico Baby, but they do manage to land the stun off as Stoneman does fall. That is the save here for Focus. Wish will go down, and this is not looking great here for this Gyrocopter as he's next to fall. Skylark is just trying to absorb everything. He is stuck in a land of hurt as Spartan tries to get off some
Nico
sort of
Baby
a save. He just cannot seem to do it. Nico Baby sitting so very low, but this Buddha Restoration, the GG gets called.
Oh, man. Well, they got the Aegis and the cheese. They got some fortunate luck there from Gabe and from the gods, but doesn't matter. Alliance way too big. They just don't have the ways to fight. And the Chrono even whiffs. Chrono whiffs, and also we saw Gyro caught between the Mars ult as well, just